Hey, hello everybody. Things set up here. It looks like we are going live. We are live now. Welcome back to the studio, guys, for another Stinky Robot live stream. I'm Michael Smell. Glad you guys can make it today. Things set up here a little bit. There we go. All right, well, in this, it's your first time here on this live stream. We do a new piece of art every single day. Between 1 and 2 hours of draw time from start to finish. I come into it with little to maybe some concepts occasionally. Today we're not gonna have any concept. I got a blank sheet of paper in front of me. We're gonna grab a pencil and we're gonna start off and we'll finish it off with, I'm using these today, FW acrylic inks. If you're interested in using acrylic inks, it doesn't have to be that one. If you'd like to draw along, make sure you grab whatever medium you use, whether it's pen and ink, graphite, just a good old-fashioned number 2, which is what I typically start off with. Don't use the real bit fancy art pencils, just good old-fashioned number 2 to start my drawing. Since I'm not going to finish in graphite, that's just fine. If you want to do a painting, if you want to do some acrylics, oils, watercolors, probably not oils, they take a little longer to develop than we can do here on this show, or this live stream, but use whatever medium you have and whatever you wish to use. If you're just here for the ride and want to watch me create something cool, awesome, thank you. So if you just showed up, if you found this live stream, do me a favor, reach down, hit that thumbs up, it really helps me out. Lets me know you showed up and seen the channel. Greatly appreciate it. I'd like to see myself getting a few more thumbs up, so I'm going to work a little harder to earn your thumbs up. I'm going to work twice as hard to earn those subscriptions. Got some people showing up and watching, but I don't have them subscribed, so I'd like to get your subscription. Leave me a comment down below. What is it you'd like to see me do? Give me suggestions. This is a new live stream. I believe this is my 18th live stream, so we're still real new and fresh on this channel. I feel like I'm getting a little more comfortable behind the camera, but I'm always open to some open criticism, some constructive criticism. That'd be fantastic. If you want to send me some shade, then yeah, not so much though. But yeah, open criticism. I am definitely willing to take a listen. Drop me a comment down below. Anything you think I could do better, I'd love to hear from you. And with that being said, we're going to jump in. We're going to go ahead and start today's live stream. Like I said, we've started working for about 1 to 2 hours now, so give or take. And it could go over. We're going to do it per drawing. So if the drawing feels like it needs a little more time to work, and we'll take a little more time to work on it. We do have a clock up in the corner in case you haven't noticed, right there. Just kind of helps us keep an idea of where we're at so we don't get lost in our details. And next thing you know, we got a 4-hour live stream. But we're not going to necessarily be beholden to the clock. I initially started the live stream that way, thinking I was going to do it within an hour. Then I quickly realized I'm just rushing through things and it could be a little bit better. So we're just going to take our time. We're going to put whatever detail this piece needs is what it's going to get. And yesterday we did a pretty cool one with Medusa. If you haven't seen that, I hope you go back and check out yesterday's video. I think I'm going to do a real basic head-on shot today. You couldn't tell by the name, I am Stinky Robot. That's what I go by. But the last name is Smell, which kind of made sense. And I've been going by that for a long time now, so I do draw a lot of robots. If you like robots, you're in the right place. If you don't necessarily want to draw a robot, by all means, draw whatever is in your heart. Draw whatever you love to draw, whether it's your cat, your dog, portrait of your mother-in-law, anything you want to draw, you draw. Let's see. I have no idea where we're going with this live stream, so we're just going to start off with some basic shapes and see what we can turn it into. Doesn't seem like much now. There's just a couple random straight lines, but this is what I'm going to use to develop my robot. I typically start off with some basic line shapes and start seeing the initial shape of the robot come out. I've been doing a lot of square heads lately. Maybe I'll switch it up a little bit. You know, let's do a round head. I haven't done a round head in a while. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna start off. We're gonna do a nice big rounded head. That's one of the funnest things about doing robots is they literally come in any shape and size. There are no rules. You know, you don't get that a little bit when you're doing portraits and people. There's certain rules and guidelines you want to stick to. You know, there's the shape of the eyes. You know, men and women have different jaw lines. The proportions between the eyes and the nose and the mouth. Robots, yeah, not so much so. I can be as creative as I want to. All right. Alright, now it looks like the direction we're taking, we'll be looking kind of up at the robot. So he's going to be a really tall robot by the way I've drawn him. Cool. Change that a little bit. Just gonna come down on that circle. I like that shape. It's a good circle, but seeing that we need to kind of have a flat kind of shoulder type panel up here. So we're gonna drop this circle down a little bit. Mm-hmm. Yeah, again, like that circle, but I just can't. I'm gonna wait a second to put that in there because I'm still sculpting out his shape, his chest, and I'm just putting that circle all over the place. So let's take a step back and think about that a little bit more. Save it here to the end. Try not to use my eraser much, but I'm been a little heavy lately on the eraser. Bad habits. Stop that. Alright, so that's kind of an idea where the shoulders are. Yeah, just talking out loud here, but I feel like random thought came in my head. I've been doing a lot of head-heavy portraits lately. I think I need to do some more torso work, so maybe that's something I'll be working on here in the next, at least one this week, maybe tomorrow, maybe the next day, depending on what I'm feeling. But yeah, I feel like I need to start doing a little more chest and arm work. A lot of my times I like to have my portraits so like, their arm out or hand in there. But I've just somewhat been avoiding doing hands on the live streams. Now between you and me, don't tell anybody, but hands. Whew. The one thing I've always struggled with is hands. So I avoid doing that on the live stream, but I'm gonna have to break myself of that. If I want to get better at hands, then I need to be practicing more. So we need to start bringing hands in. All right. What kind of eyes here? We're gonna go maybe some long oval shape eyes, more round. Yeah. We're gonna go some longer oval shaped eyes. That. By drawing the cross lines and then the center line ahead of time, it helps me square up the size and the shape, making sure my proportions are correct from right side, left side. Just a little one of those tricks that'll really help you get things proportionally correct. Like most people, occasionally I've struggled with getting one eye bigger than the other eye, so these little tricks will help you. Let's see, I think I'm gonna go with, yeah, let's do this cool kind of shape here. Oh, again, gonna mark top and bottom. I've noticed when I'm drawing, it might look like I'm chicken scratching, like scratch, 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 scratch. And I don't recommend chicken scratch drawing, where you're chop, 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 chop. It looks like that's what I'm doing, but actually what I'm doing is I'm lightly I'm kind of like lining my pencil up. If I want to make a line here, instead of chicken scratching the line, I'm like just practicing a few times which way I want the line to go. Then I dedicate myself to one long line. Or if I'm going around a corner, I'll do a few little light lines and then I'll come over and I'll darken them in. So it may look like I'm chicken scratching a little bit, but I am trying definitely not to chicken scratch. See, I'm a little pointier on the top, so I'm a little more rounded on this side. So what we're going to do is we're going to kind of pull in here, and I think I like the pointier better. So we're going to kind of try to I'm gonna take off my tips. Nip the tip. Try again to get a little more pointy. Oh. Those will work. Okay. That's how the eyes. Hey, WT, how you doing? Doing pretty good on my side of the street. Comment over a little bit so I can see them better. There we go. Too much. All right. All right, just time to put a neck in. What kind of neck we're gonna go for here? All right, that's good. Here's some big old teeth there. It'll be different. Chompers. All right, we got the shape of the head. Let's see if we can do something fun with this now. Hey, Tank. What's up, bud? I'll go these lines here to sure we stay even on both sides. fun details on here. I got them pointing in. We're going to curve them so they're pointing more outward. Let's see, a little bow. Alright, now we can put that circle in there, but I think I'm going to square the circle off just a little bit, not make it perfectly round. It's kind of a round-ish shape. Kind of a squish circle. Let's see, we're on live stream number 18, so yeah, let's go with so we'll go with robot number 18. I won't always name the bots by the live stream number, but every once in a while, just for fun. All right, a little long on the pencil sketch. We'll start trying to finish this part up. Let's see. Or should I have the rivets on the mat? You know what? I'm gonna move the rivets over. I like them better right here. Yeah. Way cleaner. Way cleaner. Look at that. That looks okay. So let's get rid of the pimples all over his face, and we'll go with the rivets over top of that. Yeah, that looks better. Same here. We're gonna put the rivets here and here and here. Big rivets. And we'll put some rivets right in here. It's like Iron Giant's second cousin 3 times removed. Perfect. Oh, get rid of those little rivets there, and let's ink this sucker. We have our drawing for the day. Today is one of those beautiful rainy days here in Kansas City where it's just light rain, smells like spring, jacket weather. Perfect day. I love these days. That nice spring rains are nice. But I guess they're, at least as of yesterday, they were calling for a chance of snow again. That I could do without. Because we have like a 30% chance of snow on Thursday, I think. As of yesterday, maybe that's changed, and I hope it has. I am done with the snow. I hope it's gonna be another awesome bot there, Tank. So I had another idea yesterday after doing the snakes, and I may throw it in the live stream this week or next week, one of the two. I did the snakes. I'm like, man, that was kind of fun tying those snakes together yesterday. So I may, instead of doing a bot, just do just a ball of snakes, just for fun. Need more animal drawings. I'm thinking a ball of snakes might be a lot of fun to draw. A little messy. I'm not too worried. We'll clean that up. Realizing that is way off. Oh well. It's a fun drawing. Not to be perfect. Never notice when it's finished. A little shaky with the line work, but that's not too bad. Hey, Stace. Draw out just a little bit. It's a little small. Go. Right. Got ourselves an Iron Giant-ish robot. That's not the Iron Giant, but it's Iron Giant inspired today. It's maybe hard to imagine, but Iron Giant just happens to be one of my favorite movies of all time. I may have a thing for the Iron Giant. Okay. Background or no background? How about we go no background today? Yeah, let's go no background today, but I want to go a little heavy with the cross hatching. So light inking, heavy cross hatching. Yeah, I think that we're going to play around with today. Something a little different than we've been doing. Yellow, blue. Paint spray. That indigo, there it is. Maybe a splash of this green, but no iridescence today. I'll leave the iridescence off this one. Big hit with the eraser. Again, when we're working this heavy on the pencil, like we have been lately, not that we get all of it off, because it's not that big a deal if a little bit stays in there. The inks will cover most of it off, the water washes and all that. But I like to hit a little bit because I do get a little heavy on the pencil. Okay, there we go. It's a clean surface. Yellow, green, little blue. We'll wait for the panes to the end, and indigo. And we will go lower a little bit, obviously, with the steel, the gray, near the end. Oh boy. Second here, guys. Okay, we are still live, correct? Yep. Okay, we're losing the iPad one more time. I think I figured out what my problem is. If the iPad's not at 100%, it doesn't want to do a whole live stream. It just kicks out on me. And I have some kids who don't like to recharge the iPad when they're done with it, because they borrow it for piano lessons. So my iPad is at 40%, and it started kicking me off once again. So, yep, we'll deal with that. So you guys are gonna be far over there on my computer. I'll glance over a little bit just to see how things are going over there. If you see me looking off to the side, I'm trying to see what you guys are saying. That's a bummer. Gonna wet him down a little bit. We're not gonna do any work here in the background, so I'm just gonna there we go. With a smaller brush. Popping things here on the floor. All right, here we go. Yellow, we're gonna get a little bit of bright yellow reflection here a little bit. Okay. Here we are working from the light to dark, so that's why we're starting with our yellow here. I'm not set on using the green yet. We'll have to see how that goes. Initially, I think yes, but second guessing myself on the green. I want to be careful, don't become an Easter piece. Yellow, light blue, and green. You kind of start saying, well, I mean, said it's a beautiful day outside, nice spring day. I'm not sure I really want to do an Easter bot. I'm gonna take my time on this one, and we're just, because we're not doing a background, we're gonna take a little more time and just work our inks in there really, really nice into their shadows and highlights, and we're gonna see if we can just nail the color on this one. Again, we're working lightest to darkest. And then we'll get it all the way down to the dark. Then we'll bring in the white, actually the gray first, then the white, and bring out those highlights and shadows. We will end up with a little green anyways, because we put blue over top of yellow, we're gonna get that green. Just inevitable. Cool. Now using the same color, but I'm gonna start off with a real light water wash, so you get that real thin blue. And then just to build up off that, you can add a little less water and a little more ink, and then kind of repeat each time, adding a little more ink and a little less water, and you can get darker colors, all without changing inks. And watch, this is just pretty much pure ink. See, I get a real heavy blue. Kind of feather that in. Eventually I'll go over it with that indigo on top of this blue and get even darker. But you can get multiple shades of just by using one color. You can really start building up your depth by doing it that way. And pretty blue. Just a little underneath there. Okay. That. Grabbing that super light blue here, kind of show you where the panels are changing directions. Won't be going all the way down, so we're not going to worry too much about that. Light shadow here. Same deal here. We're just kind of lightly on the right where this change of direction happens. Drop shadow here. Same here. Drop shadow a little bit. Need it right inside of here. Very light on the number. Now, a little more around the body and random colors, blotches in here to kind of show metal reflection. same thing up here on the head a little bit. Not as much, but you need a little bit. Pretty subtle too, especially on this side. This is our main light side, so we want to be very subtle with reflection. See, there's a little bit of green because I got over that yellow just a little bit. This side we can go a little heavier because this is the shadow side of things, so it'll be a little deeper in color value over here. Cover the whole thing up and just kind of do random pattern here for metal reflection. Shadow side of the head will be a little thicker. Here, drop shadow here. There's a light. All right. Now, shadow side of our center line. Each one of these rivets is going to need a bit of a drop shadow and a dark side of the rivet. All right, build it up nice and slow. Okay. All right, we're gonna step it up a little bit now. Let's get these rivets put in there, and then we'll these drop shadows and rivets. Lots of little rivets. Up a little bit. We're going to make sure that each of these rivets have a dark side. You got to think of how light bounces off of these little rivets. So you don't want just a white circle. You kind of want help give it a little more of a 3D effect. Make sure they all have got it. And given, especially the small ones, we'll just basically do a white dot over top of them when we're done. But start off with having dark side. Okay. Oh boy. Details never end. We just need a little bit here. Right. Again. Go back and add a little yellow to that. Okay, looks a little blue and yellow right now, but now we're gonna come in here first and darken up with this blue in some areas, and then we're gonna start bringing the indigo right over top. Anywhere that really needs to hit that shadow hard, start here, this color. start giving it more of an impact the darker we get. Started light, we're working light to dark, so that way we could build our dimensional planes through using lights and darks. Now as we start adding dark, you'll start seeing more and more, it'll look a little more 3D the darker we get. And of course bringing that light right on top, finish the impact. Okay. Now let's bring in pretty. Oh. Cool. That's looking pretty good. Now let's bring in that. This won't be our darkest color, so we're just gonna use this sparingly, just to highlight the darker sections of the blue. Make it just a little darker than we could have with that lighter blue. And we will come in to our final deepening of color with Payne's Gray. Okay. Okay, that's pretty good darkened up there. Now we bring in the gray, and that's when it'll start actually looking like metal. Be nice and wet with this because I don't want it to get too light. Again, doing the same thing I did with the blue. I want to bounce back and forth between a really wet gray, which is going to be a really light gray, and then one with less water, more of a straight ink, get a bit of a darker gray. I'll start light first and work to gray, work lighter in. That way I'm ensuring that I get a nice, even color, light to dark. Remember that always, light to dark, light to dark. Jump in too soon in the dark, you're gonna person yourself. Got a big robot to cover here, so we're just going to take one bite at a time. On the lighter side, we're going to use a lot less gray. We're going to keep it nice and thin, keep it pretty subtle. Keep it more towards the sides we want to make sure that are in the shadow areas. And kind of treat it like we are the metal reflection. So mostly white with a little bit of just little silver in here for pops. Don't want to get too heavy. We're going over the top of the yellow a little bit. Heavy like that. The water, dip it in. Dip it in. See, it's a little heavy, and while it's still wet, I can lighten it up by dipping my water, get nice and wet, and I can just go back over it and just lighten everything up. So. And it can look a little blotchy at this point. That's just fine. Remember, when we go over with the white, it'll smear all that gray, yellow, and blue together when I bring that white over top. And that is where it'll really look like metal and look like it's coming together. So. Let it be a little blotchy right now. That's just fine. Again, going back to the additive of, we're gonna get messy. Gotta get nice and messy. Then we'll clean it all up later. But that's the scary part of it. When you're like, oh, it's getting, once it starts getting messy, it gets real nervous. You're like, oh, I think I ruined it. I think I got too messy. But don't worry, don't fret about it. Messy is good. Sloppy is nice. Sloppy is art. Pretty good on the head. Oh, I work head down just to make it easier on myself. And the center line here, I've always got to remember, right here down the center, they got a shadow side, and I got the highlight side. If I get that right, it'll look really good. Add some gray here into these rivets. Don't forget that, because it's all, the whole robot's the same color. There's no, these all gonna be one color. Yeah, except for maybe this panel here. We may add a little splash of color there yet. To be decided, to be determined, TBD. Again, this is the light side, so we want to keep minimal gray in here. A little bit, just to accentuate what we got going on. We want to definitely go right underneath the line that shows the panel changes directions. A little bit here, make sure we keep that detail alive. The shadow side a little bit. That drop shadow and lighten that. That was too dark. Lighten that just a little bit, like so. Boom. Shadow out. Along the panel there where we change direction. Chase that drop shadow a bit, and then get the shadow side of this. We're just about finish this up, I think. At least with the gray anyways, I'm gonna have to go through here and darken this up a little bit, because remember, we gotta get it muddy. I'm actually purposely trying to muddy this up just a little bit. Little bit here, because I want this number panel to look like it's actually kind of part of the metal, and everything's the same tone, so we got to bring some gray right through that number plate. So not so much in here, because I think if I put a color in, this is where the color is going to go, right in there. That's gray. Now it's time for the shadows and then those fun highlights. So we're going to go our Payne's gray. We use black. We're going to use the Payne's gray, which basically black, with a little blue hint to it. a grayish blue, really, really dark grayish blue. And get a sharper point brush. Kind of it's kind of like we're drawing in our darkening our lines here, but we're going to be using this to also feather it out some. Just a little bit here. Too wonky. Just clean line. I'll feather that out a little bit. Like I want to get the darkest part in the crevice, but I don't want it like a big blotch. I'm going to keep it nice and clean here. I think that'll need to get feathered back out again too. Like so. I always see you use so little faith because every time I go and get really muddy, I can watch my viewership drop off quite a bit. That's not a big deal. We're not going to be overly concerned with that. Because ye who stick around know that it's going to get a lot better. Muddy face is kind of boring, I know. We clean it up. Get it. out of our way. And brushes up. Let's add some white. Bring those highlights in now. It's time. And yeah, we'll put that in. Nope. White. This is start toning everything down. You just start seeing a little bit of that yellow in the highlights, not so much direct yellow anymore. And we'll go for the gray and the shadow side of things. Feather that white right back into that shadow line there. Try to smooth everything out. Smoothing is what we're doing right now. Popping our highlights, smoothing out our shadows, especially our midtones. Smooth those right out. In a lot of areas, we want to get that real bright, clean that, bring that bright white pop back in some areas. Smooth. Flip it around, and let's do the same thing over here. Out right over here a little bit. Always got a nice crisp white line on that side. We don't have to worry about it much. Oh. I'm going to flip it around a little bit. Clean, give this outside line here a nice crisp white line all the way down. Little wonky right there. Water, clean that up. Oh. Okay. Smooth it in here. Pretty subtle what I'm doing right now, but it gives it a heck of a lot of pop at the end. So it's okay, coming in here, back into the smoothing mode. Bring a nice clean white edge. This white, on the areas we left white, we can give it a nice pop. And with several layers, we can bring like big pops of white in the areas too if we build up layers like over top of each other. So we're doing just one white layer over our muddied areas where we muddied our midtones, and we can really bring those out. And they'll look a lot more realistic, at least somewhat more realistic. Keeping our edges a very bright white. More water, the subtler we get. Now that's not a lot. When I say more water, I don't mean a lot of water like your brush is dripping wet. I mean a lot of water as in I'm doing 50% ink, 50% water, then I dampen it off with my rag so that my brush is not dripping wet, but the paint that's on, or the ink that's on my brush would be 50% ink, 50% water. Or you can change your ratios to 60-40 or vice versa, depending on how thin you want your inks to be. But you don't necessarily want to dip in water and then straight to that, because you're going to be way too much ink is going to come off all at once. So that's why I keep a rag in my hand and I dab it dry. Not dry, I dab it to the consistency I want, then I can start laying the ink in. When it comes to acrylics, whether you're doing acrylic inks or just acrylics in general, the key to any kind of acrylic, whether it be ink or whether it be paint, is your water ratios. So if you're doing acrylic paint or acrylic ink, practice your water ratios. And like I said, I'll put it one more time. A lot of people think that water ratio means I dip it in paint, dip it in water, that's my water ratio. There's a third step that most people are going to miss. And that's dip it in water, or dip it in paint, dip it in water, vice versa until you get your mixture just right. Then dab it off on a paper towel to the consistency of paint that's going to come off your brush that you want. You have too much on there, then it's going to leave, then you're going to get too much ink or paint on there, and when you move your brush stroke over it again, you'll pull it back up. Make sure you're practicing those ratios, and you'll find it to be a game changer for you. You'll see most if not almost all when they start out with doing acrylics, they're gonna just paint straight from tube right on the panel, and they got this big thick huge layer of paint. They just wonder, like, why can't I get it to look like, you know, the professionals? Well, practice those water ratios. All right, cool. Get a little. Now I'm gonna go back in with just straight white, add a few more blotchy color layers, a few areas to really pop those highlights. This might be one of those things that doesn't show up well on camera, but in person, looks really good. Okay. And now we're going to go through each one of these ribbons, make sure we got a nice white highlight on our highlighted side. Now this is straight, now I'm using straight ink, and I'm not using any water ratios, because I want it to lay down thick. I'm doing a dab of just pure white, as thick as I can get it. That's how we're gonna get actual white tipped highlight. Small ones though, just dabbing them white. Not gonna be able to get a very well highlighted side and dark side on these little ones, unless we go in there with a real tiny brush. Okay. Is him. Let's add some color in those eyes, and let's add some color in the panel here, which we're gonna go with. Now we'll bring in that green. I knew I was gonna use green somewhere. A little bit of red. Like so. Starting light. Then I can add a darker side to it. Just to give it a little dimension. Do a darker and a lighter side on the red. On this side. There we go. Now we'll bring in that green. What color do you guys think for the eyes? I feel like bright yellows, like a bright yellow eye. Green. Now I can't get this green to get any darker, so how we'll do this, get a slightly darker green color. I'll bring in that little bit of that, I mean, oh, if it wasn't dry, little indigo. So I'll just do a dab of indigo, mix it with the green, and then I'll darken that green right up. A nice dark green. Too dark though. And yeah, we'll go with actual watered down indigo because I almost wanted it to look like a few more turned off. The darker colors. Dark indigo. Darker than that. I did not put enough ink out there. I'm going to need a little splash more. Payne's gray for the darker side of this. Go. A bit better. Now, same thing, I'll add a little indigo and just a little bit of red. Kind of take that down to more of a deep red. A little deep for my face. A little deep, but that's all right. I'll just brighten that up with some more red. That'll be her. Now we'll bring in some red and white. Bring that white in to kind of pop these colors out a little bit better. Go. Pure white. And pure white this time. That green, do the same thing. Green, white. All right, I want to take a little white up. Okay. One last step. We're gonna go on the eye. We're gonna go light yellow. Yeah, maybe we'll use this Indian yellow. Slightly different than one we used earlier. It does make it a lot easier to work when your beard hair is not in your ink. Yep. That yellow, and probably red. Now I've got a nice medium Indian yellow with a very light brilliant yellow. Start with the brilliant yellow. We'll work way into the Indian yellow right near the outside edges a little bit. Now we'll take just a tap of that red, mix that with that Indian yellow. Now we're gonna come around just around the edges. And then also a little bit on that inside edge. Cool. Now back to mainly in yellow with just a hint of red. I'm gonna give it a little bit of darkened space in here, like so. Got our brush. While it's still wet in there, we're gonna kind of push it around, blend it a little bit more. Cool. So, and now we're gonna go just straight white. Get some nice clean white over here. That is our straight white highlights. Light yellow, we gotta make sure to go real thick highlights on this white. Like so. Blow dry that. Give another. Cool. Now I said I was going to do a cross hatching with this one, but after I finish it up and it looks so clean the way it is, I probably will leave the cross hatching off. That was just my initial thought process, but now that I see it, the way I've blended all these inks together, I think I may skip that step. We'll give it a nice outline. Pardon my big head in here. Sometimes doing these outlines, it's a little difficult for me to see from a distance. Kind of just doing a broken line technique, so it's not a full outline, just kind of thickening the outline around in some areas, just to kind of give a little more character. Helps it pop just a little bit, especially since some of these lines have been disappeared by the ink. Line got a little straightened out, but that's not. It looks pretty darn good, in my opinion. Big head out of the way here. I do apologize if you've been commenting and I have not been reaching out to you. I can't actually see it because normally I have an iPad running right in front of me where I can see the comments, but it died on me. So now it's all running on the computer that's about 4 feet to my right, and I can't read the comments from there. I can kind of see it a little bit, so I see we're still live and we're still going. So if you've been commenting, I do apologize for not getting back to you. We'll have that problem fixed tomorrow again. I do hope that if you have not subscribed to this channel just yet, that you will consider subscribing after seeing the work today, and want to join us tomorrow. We'll be back tomorrow, same time, same place, 11:30 Central Time tomorrow. We go live Monday through Wednesday, at least as of right now. Things may change. I'll keep you posted. But we go live Monday through Wednesday at 11:30 a.m. Central Time. We go live on Thursday and Friday at 9:30 in the evening Central Time. I do hope you'll consider subscribing and hitting that bell notification so that you know exactly when I go live. I try to stay punctual, but from time to time I will be running about 10-15 minutes late. But I try real hard to be right there on time. So if I haven't shown up just yet, give it time, I will be there. Looking pretty darn good right there. Go around the eyes just a little bit. Clean that up just a little bit there. Got a little wonky of my lines. Can't have that. Can't have that. No. There we go. There is our second cousin twice removed from the Iron Giant piece. Again, he is not the Iron Giant, but he could belong in that family. Love that kind of generation of bots. 1940s, 1950s Art Deco style robot is just one of my favorite style of robots. We're going to give it a little bit of broken outline around. About ready to do the peel, so hopefully stick around for a second, see how it all turned out. Go. Random little broken line all the way around the border. The tape will help make it nice and crisp line. That's it. Let's peel it. Let's reveal it, guys. Let's finish it off here. Yeah. Lego tape. All right, let's see if I can get a clean peel today. Not pulling it off like I did yesterday. There we go. Yeah, this is pretty sweet. Looks like we're right at that 2-hour mark. So, yeah, I'm pretty happy I decided to push things back another hour instead of doing 1-hour live streams. Shooting for more of the 2-hour live stream because the detail I'm accomplishing with these little longer ones makes it a lot more fun. And find my mouse here. And my computer way over there. There we go. Oh, that's it, guys. That's today's live stream. Second cousin, twice removed from the from the Iron Giant. Yeah, I think I like it. Turned out pretty awesome. Guys, if it's your first time here, do me a favor. If it's your second, third, or 100th time showing up in my live stream, which is live stream 18, so 100 be hard. That thumbs up, guys, please do it. It really means a lot to me. Let me know you guys at least showed up and watched part of the video or all the video. And subscribe to the channel because we'll be going live here 5 days a week, Monday through Friday. Hit that bell notification to know when I go live. Guys, thanks for everyone showing up. Sorry about the comments today. Couldn't read them from over there, so if you did comment, I do apologize. But no, I'll be reading them as soon as I hang up. As I click off here and go up the stream. So, yep, have a good night, guys.